We've rescued Stephen, we've sold the horses, and we're going back to Threshold. This should be a nice, safe session. Hello and welcome to the Battle and Barrow and another D&D campaign waffle session. First up, I'm going to apologise for any background noise you may hear with traffic. It's the week of summer here in the UK, so it's quite hot, so I've got my windows open and I live on a fairly main road, so apologies for that. Next up, I want to cover something about these videos I've been making, and that is the use of terrain. It may appear that we use terrain all the time, no matter what the encounter is, whether it should be done theatre of the mind or not. This is not actually true. If it's combat encounter, yeah, we're laying down terrain. Most of the time we've got something set up for, like, so if we're in the wilderness, we just have some wilderness boards in front of us for marching order, and if a random encounter is done, I put the models down for that, and we have just for spatial awareness, as it were, and we run it like that. So I don't actually set up every little thing. It's just mainly for these videos that we just set up a little something, take some pictures and carry on with the game, theatre of the mind. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because this first bit was full on theatre of the mind. I couldn't set anything up, so we're in Riflian. We've sold the horses and Stephen's gone off to do a bit of research and asked to meet us in Threshold in a week or so. So we need to get back to Threshold. There are two ways that our party can do this from where they are: by road or by boat. So I couldn't set anything up because I didn't know what they were going to pick until this session, and they picked by boat. So we don't have any pictures, so I'll briefly describe what happened here. There were a number of sort of events that happened. The first one was on the day they left, a pigeon flew from somewhere from town heading towards Kelvin, which is away from where the players were heading. Ranger tried to sort of shoot it, but it was going away from him, so he decided not to, so the pigeon flew off. This was in fact a messenger pigeon sent by some spies of the Iron Ring that are in town, letting Golfar know that they've spotted the players and where they're heading to Threshold. They then board the boat, pay the price, the cost of what the captain asked for. They're all sailing up to Threshold. It's a logging vessel rather than a passenger vessel, but he wants to make a bit of extra money. And it's not long before they see a body floating in the water with black arrows, which is ominous. Later on in the day, they've been keeping track of someone that seems to be following them on horseback in the distance behind. Constantly, if the boat slows down or stops, the figure will slow down or stop, and that's the end of the first day. The next day they carry on, and they see a flying carpet fly overhead from Kelvin, where the location in Kelvin is, to the southeast, going towards Threshold. This is in fact Golfar and his right hand, Lady Jelana, or Jelena, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and they're trying to travel as fast as possible to head the players off. There is probably so long ago that they run our first days off in Threshold. When the players first got there, they encountered Cordinia's flying carpet shop, but she wasn't there. She was obviously, it's a bit like a taxi service for Karamikos, I guess. The players carry on sailing upwards, and all of a sudden a boat comes out from a sort of side tributary stream into the river they're on, and this is a combat. So there is members of the Iron Ring with grappling hooks who are trying to board the boat. From the shore, they're getting peppered with arrows. It's not a difficult combat. It was more. In fact, I was umming and ahhing whether to even run this or not. We'd had plenty of encounters with the Iron Ring. I just wanted to get to Threshold and something like that. Anyway, I'm glad I did. It was quite fun. They defeat the grapplers, use the rowboat to get to shore, and as they're going to shore, they're picking off the archers. They then basically kill all the Iron Ring. They notice the archers are using black feathered arrows, which is what was peppered into the corpse they saw the day before. They search around the camp, they search around to find the camp of the Iron Ring, and there is a locked chest. They then search the corpses, and the leader of the bandits has a key in his boot. They open it and find a bit of treasure in there. Nothing too exciting, but it makes it worth their time. And it's off to Threshold. And there on the gates is Sergeant Arthur, and he welcomes them back and lets them know that tomorrow there is a festival going on. Coming from Tarn's Keep, Baron Sherman will preside in the procession, so that's something to look forward to. They need a bit of upliftingness after what they've gone through. They do their usual stuff in town, resupply. They go and see Jasper, but there's a note on the door saying he's off on an adventure of some sort. They joke around, probably saying it's probably another black pudding for the dump from what they discovered a while back. And so then they just spend a uneventful day, really, apart from doing the usual and bedding down for the night. The next day, the procession starts, and they sort of enjoy it and take part and witness it go past. But there is an accident on a side street where a cart trundles down the hill into the path of a robed older lady, which they manage to jump in the way, push her out the way, and the cart goes past and smashes into the wall. With that, she thanks them for their help, and says she's a fortune teller, and she says she'll read their fortune, which she gives it to him as, "I see a tall man in yellow robes. He is here in Threshold, and he's searching for something. I see him quite clearly, and he stands outside the building near a river. A sign bearing 2 crossed swords swings overhead. The picture dims. And with that, she disappears into the crowd, but as she does so, she seems to drop a purse, a pouch, which the players go and pick up. And in there is a key and a letter. And the letter says, "Meet me tonight at the Inn of the Crossed Swords. The troublemakers are in town, and I need your assistance. Go far." During the parade, they see a member of the Iron Ring. He has the distinctive sort of iron band that they've all had, they recognise. And without warning, they give chase. His name is Vokos, and this encounter was really meant to take place the night before in the inn they're set up. I moved it here deliberately to give the players a bit of a push in the direction. He's going to lead them to Volcor Island and the area around the Crossed Swords and the Iron Ring hideout. So they give chase. We manage to use sort of rolls and tracking to make sure they lose him for a bit, but they can make out the direction he went. So they head in that general direction, which is towards the northern bridge to Volcor Island. As they go there, a street urchin asks them for a gold coin. They give the urchin a gold coin, and then suddenly out of nowhere 20 more come from out the shadows, each asking for a gold coin, which they do give them one just for time and quickness. They were stitched up by the kids here. So they go to Volcor Island and quickly pick up the trail of Vogos. They lead him through the streets, and they, from a distance, watch him go into a hideout. On the way, they have already passed the Crossed Swords Tavern from the letter, so know what that is, and now they've made their way to this hideout. This, unbeknownst to players, is also used by the Iron Ring, but it also is a were-rat hideout. The players do not know this. They decide to enter the hideout, which is fine. There is for a number of were-rats, a number of Iron Ring members and Vokos in there. But they do this in a way where they get Wolfie to scratch on the door while they hide in various positions around the house. And wait for the door to open, which it does, and a very confused Iron Ring member opens the door. And they begin to pick him off, which then awakens the sleeping were-rats, so they come down, and Ranger finds himself in combat, but you can tell something's odd about this human, and he's in combat, but then it begins to change hideously into this deformed human rat thing, which does cause Ranger some concern at this point. He knows that he doesn't want to get the disease this were rat has. And this, they sort of decide, the players, have they bitten off more they can chew? This hideout seems to just spew out more and more thugs and Iron Ring members and were-rats. After a bit of a battle, they manage to kill them all and have a look round. There's not a lot in here, really. There's a bit of treasure. I think the Iron Rat members, the main room of interest, one that has been used by Golfor, that has some things of worth, but you know, not a lot, except for one important thing. His spell books are locked here, which Witchy Poo takes. She can't read them. She has a quick look and knows that she can't read them, but she has an idea to post them through to Jasper, just to take care of them. She doesn't really want what's in them. They're probably going to be evil, but she takes them, which I quite liked. With that, they decide to go back to the Cross Swords and wait there and try and lay an ambush for Golfor, who's actually planning to ambush them. So it's a double ambush. It's still daytime. I've already decided what time Golfor will come to the Cross Swords, but the players don't know this as of yet. They know it's sometime during the night, but they don't know when. So they're exploring the Cross Swords Tavern, which is deserted. It's locked from with a key, and they sort of need a key, but they've got a key, haven't they? They've got a key that the lady from earlier dropped, so they use that and it does indeed work. So they enter and have an explore around, and it's as they would expect. It's just a deserted, rundown tavern. There is a terrible stench coming down from the cellar, so they tentatively crawl down the stairs into the darkened cellar. They notice a big hole in the wall that sort of leads to the sewers, which is probably one of the causes of the smell. But then the other one presents itself, and it's a troll. And normally trolls are quite a hard battle, but when you got Witchy Poo on your case who just flings fire around like it's no one's business, that takes away the troll's regenerative properties, and it doesn't take long for the battle to be over. But again, there is this lovely moment where they realise have they bitten off more than they should have done to their first troll, and it sort of bites Ranger, and that does some damage. And they think that's it, because we're used to what combats normally just having one attack, but this has 3, so it takes a swipe at one of its claws, which hits and does damage to Ranger. He's like, oh my goodness. It takes another swing with its other claw, and luckily this one misses, and now they realise, even though it's an easy battle in one way, if they get this wrong, it can do a large amount of damage. They defeat the troll and set up an ambush. Their plan is to wait into the room in between the kitchen and the front of the tavern, let the players, and so then they got, if it all goes wrong, they can sneak out. If it doesn't, they can attack. It's what they decided to do. When Golfor and the Iron Ring members do arrive, they notice something instantly wrong. The door is unpadlocked, and that raises suspicion, and they wait outside for a good hour before entering, waiting to see if the players react, which the players can't see them out there, but they have heard them arrive, so they know they're there, but they don't know exactly what's going on, why they're not entering, what is happening. They decide to enter anyway, the Iron Ring, and the players hear this. Golfor and Jelena set up behind a upturned table, giving them protection, ordering the were-rats and the Iron Ring members to search the place. At this point, the players hear that they know they're going to try and search. They can hear that happening, so they roll stealth rolls to sneak out via to the kitchen and out the back door. Their plan is to then come round to the front and do something that way. I'm not too sure what, but it does actually work. So by this time, some of the Iron Ring members are now in the kitchen. They see the dead body of the troll there, and they descend into the cellar. From the kitchen there is also stairs up, so some of them go up. So while the players are sneaking around the front, the Iron Ring members are now quite spread out in this place, which makes it easier, not fighting them all at once. Again, the players try and roll for stealth to stealth in and try and get surprise, which they do. All attacks go on Golfar at first. He doesn't have many hit points. He's very powerful with his spells, but he doesn't have many hit points. So it doesn't take long for the players to actually defeat Golfar, who could be considered big bad, but you know, mid-level boss, I guess. Jalenda is a bit different. She's more of a range fighter, with a bow, so she's trying to save herself, but again doesn't work. The other Iron Ring members and Wererat members are now fully aware the players are in the building and come down from wherever they respectively are, but because of the distance, the players are sort of are able to take him out almost on equal odds, sort of 1v1 almost, which I guess if that was their plan, well done. I think they winged this one and it just worked out nicely for them. It doesn't take long for them to win the combat. They realise that at least the homesteads are safe now. Golfar will no longer be searching them and trying to find the tapestry. They return back to their inn that they're staying at, the Juggling Ogre. On their way back, they cross paths with an old man and a large dog. It's a large mastiff, a war dog. He gives them a sob story about how he is not long for this world. He's probably going to die, but he needs someone to look after his beloved dog. They accept this, so they've now got an extra party member in this war dog. But there's also more party members coming. More on this in a bit. So they accept the dog and they go back to the inn. They go to bed, and that is pretty much it for this one. It was I actually found this one quite enjoyable, even though it was a smaller scale, just in town. There's a lot of more sort of minor events that I've left out, but were just fun for the game. Would not be fun for you guys to listen to, as it were. Really enjoyed this one. Next week, we've got an extra player. So yeah. Oh, thanks for listening to the waffle. Stay safe, take care, see you next time.